Hi everyone, this is Tom Grisak. I'm a realtor and team leader of the Grisak Group in Allen, Texas here. We have a very strong group. We did about $122 million this year and pretty strong with only 8 agents. So we're very proud of that. We're the number one group, the number one team within Allen. Our Allen Keller Williams office, and we're also the number one team by sales volume in Collin County, or we were last year. I don't know if this year's results have come out. So I do these blogging quite a bit, and I've decided I'm going to start vlogging more. And the reason is it takes me longer to do a blog, even though I might every once in a while stumble. I don't have to agonize over every word that I say. So if I make some mistakes and I don't get the numbers exactly right, please forgive me. This is a way for me to let people get to know me a little bit better, explain what we're about, and I'll go into more detail at the end of this video and tell you what this series of vlogs are going to be. Also, I'm going to have double knee surgery tomorrow, which has given me the chance I can slow down and do some things I've wanted to do for some time. And that is to start a series of these, which are going to, I think, can help tremendously agents, and it can also help buyers and sellers or people that are contemplating buying and selling. So it's going to be a good mix of topics. I want to start off talking about drones, and the reason is they are changing the world, and we believe very strongly in them. I'm going to start off talking about drones, and a good reason for this. We use drones quite a bit, and I have been for many years. I believe, especially for estate home properties, country properties, land, they're really crucial to professionally marketing a property, and that's what we're all about. People want to see what's around an acreage or a home sitting on a 2 or 3 acre. They want to see what the neighbors look like. So when I'm out videoing with my drone, I have shot all the video on our drones for years, and now at times I'm letting another company come in and do it for me. So we've got kind of a mix. But one thing I noticed when I was out filming is people would get sometimes a little annoyed that I was there doing that, and they'd ask me, why is your drone flying over my home? The implication is I'm spying on them, and I understand how they can believe that if they look up and see a drone that's hovering right above their house. So I want to explain that. They feel, I think, violated in a way. They maybe feel like they're being spied on, and as far as we're concerned, I can promise you that is never our intent. So when they come up and ask me, again, as I said, I'll be happy to show them what I'm filming. I'll let them see the link to the video when it's completed, and I try to be understanding of what they're saying, and usually it doesn't become a problem, but I have a reputation to protect, and I never want people to think that I'm doing something that's unethical. It's certainly not illegal, but people might think it's unethical. I'm not spying on them. They've actually flown over. I've had drones flow over my home too. Last year I was in the pool and looked up, and the drone came zipping across right over our pool area. Now that one didn't stop, and if it had stopped and looked down on us, we've got a very private pool setting. That would have bothered me, and I would have liked to have known, are they, for me, I don't care, but if my wife's out there, I don't want any drone looking down on my property. And I would have tried to find out who's doing it, why they're doing it. So I'm with you. And I think once I explain how quick and simple this process is and the reason we do it, you'll be more understanding. The only reason our drone would be over your home is if we are photographing a home next door or 2 doors down. And that may sound odd to you, but if you're shooting straight down on a home with your drone, you're going to get a very boring picture of just the rooftop, maybe a pool, and a back area, back, say, attached or detached building. That's really not what I'm looking for. That's not what we're using to help sell our homes. People want to see what the home looks like. So we actually take it from an oblique. And this is an example right here of what an oblique video or picture would look like. I am probably well over the home, across the street from that home that you see right there. And I start right there, and then I move gradually, and I do a circle around the home, and that takes me 7 to 8 minutes max, and then I'm through. It shouldn't be, half an hour, 40 minutes, 45 minutes to do something. First of all, the battery won't last that long, but other than that, it just doesn't take that long to fly a home. I may have to go over, left to right, right to left, something like that. But it's such an easy process. I've been doing it for so long. It's just not, it shouldn't be something where I'm out there for half an hour, 45 minutes. It never happens. And the last thing is, remember, someday you may want to sell your home, and if you sell your home when you're ready, and especially if you're on 1 or 2 acres, it's very beneficial for you to have an aerial on your home too. So keep in mind, it's something that you might want to do someday yourself. Where do we do most of our flying? It's kind of hard to see where this map is, but I want you to notice how high density, very small lots on Allen here, and then once you cross over into Lucas, look how the land all opens up. I don't know at what elevation or what altitude this was shot. I don't know when this was taken from Google Maps, but it's high. I would never get that high with my drone. But the point is, people that have homes in this area, those are usually on 1 acre. It could be up to 5, 10 acres. And it makes sense for them to have drones do video on their properties. Once you get over here into these high density areas, really it's not that critical to do overheads, because that's what you're going to see. And if you do an oblique on these, you're really not even going to catch the front of the house. You might be catching the rooftop of the home across the street, unless there's a nice setback on both streets. So we don't, unless there's a neat feature like the home backs up to a golf course, or the home is next to a school, or there's some feature that we would like to show in the distance that we could use an oblique, we'll do that. These homes, we might take a drone and go up maybe 15 feet, but after you go up about, over 20 feet and higher, you're not looking at the front of the home, you're only looking at the rooftop. So if you're on a property like this, chances are you rarely see a drones, at least from real estate. Let's see. Here's where we do most of our flying. That's what you're seeing. All right, I want to show you how we use our drones. This is a home we sold in Tranquility. I believe this was last year. And notice how we try to keep images of the home next door on both sides and across the street out of the picture. And we've done a pretty good job on that. However, if there was a pool over here, that, unfortunately, that would be shown. But that's all a video should be, that quick. We want to give people a real understanding of what the home looks like from closer to the ground. This one was tough because you can't get too much higher. You're looking right into the trees. But then we'll also raise altitude, and we'll do a sweep if there's something that is important we need to show. For instance, that home is kids can walk right over to Puster Elementary in Lovejoy ISD. So that's a pretty big deal. And we want people to, with kids, to understand that's where their kid will be going to elementary. Now, here's another example. This trail, this home here on Saddle Trail, which I'll show you a little bit more in a second. This is, I think this is it's like priced at $4.2 million. It actually just went into title. Can you imagine marketing this home without an aerial video? And to get these shots, I did have to move back onto someone else's. Like you can see right here, I'm probably over another home here as I'm videoing that home. But as I said, within 7 to 8 minutes, I'm done and I'm out of there. I have no curiosity. I really don't look to see what's around there. I stay focused on my home that I'm trying to video, and then I'm out of there. I'm very conscientious with my time too. Okay, I'll talk about drones real quickly. If you're interested in them, they are fascinating. This is the DJI Phantom 4 Pro. That's what I've got right here. This is my fourth drone. One of them was replaced because it had an accident, and I flew it into a lake. The battery went out on me. I wasn't paying any attention, or I put the wrong battery in. I'm still not sure about that. But this weighs about 3 pounds, and it's pretty good in the high winds. Reliable. It's been a workhorse. That was probably $1,100, $1,200 when I bought it. But there is a new series of drones coming out. They're called Minis. And here's two examples. The Autel Evo Nano, the one on the top, that's probably my, Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about the drones if you're interested at all. To me, again, it's a work tool. Now I want to talk real quickly about how technology is changing with drones. Just in the 7 years since I've been flying, it's been an incredible leap in technology. The drone I just showed you, it weighed Now I want to real briefly talk about the way drone technology has changed. When I was started off, the drones were, as you can see, pretty heavy. Took a huge box to carry them around. The batteries, I don't know how much that. In fact, the batteries for those probably weighed more than these little drones I'm showing you on the right. These are called the Minis, and they are fantastic. If I'd had those 7 or 8 years ago, it would have solved a lot of my problems. They're very lightweight. They actually will fold up. Well, my wife thinks they look like toys, and they really do. It looks like something you buy at a kid's store, but they're little workhorses. The amazing thing about these things is they weigh about what an iPhone would weigh. You can see this one's 8.8 ounces, 8.5 ounces, the new DJI Mini, the Autel Mini. The iPhone weighs about 7.3 ounces. So the carry case is tiny. The batteries are tiny. You really don't lose much because they're so small and light. You still could get great time out of the battery. They're just amazing little tools. When you start up, they'll link up with about 10 satellites, and then you're ready to go. You'll get a signal that you're ready to take off, and your drone is being tracked using all of those satellites, which in itself to me is incredible technology. They have a stabilizer on the camera, so if the drone is, here's my little Autel Nano Mini, you can see this camera right there. If the wind is blowing these around, that camera will stabilize. It will actually move on its own, so it's always got a level shot. They shoot in 4K, which most TVs today don't even take 4K, but that's the future. That technology is already there. If they lose a signal, they don't just drop to the ground. They'll return home and land themselves, and that's always good security for you. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is how they're changing the world. I spent a lot of time on YouTube, and video from the air has become just so revealing to me, shots I've never seen before. There's one I really like called the Malibu Artist, who is very interested in great white sharks, and he goes around the world filming great whites and whales and dolphins from the air. So those are shots we've never seen before, and never would have before these came out. I used to have to pay someone to take a plane up and fly video, and now I can do it myself. And as I said, it takes me, 8 minutes to drive out there, maybe 8 minutes to fly it, and 8 minutes back. In less than an hour, I can go out and fly home and come back and get stunning quality. So I'm obviously a huge fan of them. All right, there are some, just so you'll know and feel like you're not being picked on, there are some requirements for drones, and this is just a very quick summary. They have to be registered with the FAA. You'll see that on there. They should have on there somewhere a sticker that shows what that registration number is. They're legal to fly in most areas of the country. You cannot exceed 400 feet altitude in most cities. You cannot fly around airports. For a while, I was flying around airports with my Phantom 3. And of course, I would never go high. You've got to be, one thing I don't want to get is creating an accident or, doing something that causes harm to anybody. So I always know exactly what's underneath me, what's around me, and what's above me. But I do fly around airports, but I may just go up like 20 feet to get a not a real high shot, but just 20 feet to go around, circle around the home. I took my Phantom 4 out there one day near McKinney Airport, and I couldn't get the rotors turned on, but the rotors wouldn't spin, and I couldn't figure out why. I checked the battery, and I tried it 2 or 3 times. I rebooted, came back to put it up at our house, and we're quite a ways from the airport. It started up immediately. I went up there and did it again. Well, apparently one of the updates I did, they installed what's called geofencing. DJI, a geofence is like an invisible fence that a drone without permission cannot penetrate. And how that technology works, I don't know. But in this case, I couldn't even start my propellers. So that was a real annoyance to me, and that's one of the reasons that I went to the Evo Nano. They do not include geofencing. So if you're thinking about getting a drone, keep that in mind. To fly anywhere around without geofencing, even if you're going to go up 10, 15, 20 feet or anywhere around a home, within a mile or two of the airport, you have to go get FAA approval. They've got, and to me, it's a very lengthy process. It may not, after I've done it 30 or 40 times, it may not have been, but you actually have to let them know what you're doing, where you're going to fly, give them a flight plan. And if I'm just going 20 feet, I don't want to go through all that hassle. So I really do like the Evo Nano. If you abuse the privilege, you can't fly at night. You can't fly over crowds. And I do fly around crowds. Sometimes I'll be, if there's an event that I want to show people what's going and how many people are showing up, I'll fly around the perimeter. Because again, with that oblique view, I can make a sweep, a circle around the event, but I'm not actually flying over anybody. So you cannot abuse, harass anybody. I've heard cases where people with drones would go and take it and look in somebody's apartment in a high-rise. That if you're caught doing something like that, you're going to lose your license and probably have more liability. But you always have to be conscientious of other people around you and realize that it's a privilege. It's not a right, it's a privilege to be able to use your drone, and you don't ever want to abuse that. Again, you can lose your license if you're caught doing something like that. And one thing you can't do is shoot them down, even though you may want to. It's a federal offense. There was a repair I had to do on one of my Phantoms one day, and I walked I go over to a place in Frisco, and a guy was right in front of me, and I heard him talking about someone had said shot down. And I asked, what happened? He said, well, I was flying over this guy's property and he shot my drone down. And I said, well, how did you know that he was the one that did it? And he said, I saw him when he came out. So he said, he destroyed my drone. He was in there getting it fixed, see if it could be fixed. He talked to the homeowner, let them know that he had just created a federal offense. And he said, I'm not going to turn you in if you fix my drone. So apparently they came to an agreement, but you don't want to shoot them down. You can report them. If you can find out who the one that's operating, that's the way to do it. But doing something like that is not the way to solve the problem. Okay, other things that I'm going to be talking about in the future, and I'm really looking forward to this, and I really think you're going to get a lot of good information. Some of the war stories I've had, next year it'll be 40 years in the business between commercial and residential, and I have so many war stories, tough negotiations, things that happen, and I've made notes over the years, knowing someday I'd probably want to blog about them. I'm going to be talking about those. I'll share some of my bonehead mistakes. I've never hurt anybody financially, but I've made some mistakes that cost me money. And looking back on it now, I certainly would have done those things differently. I'll share those things with you, whether you're an agent or you're a just interested public. You may have some interest in those because people think that we don't make mistakes, and we do make mistakes. Some of the best and worst decisions, those are easy. I've got those filed away right now. Buyers and sellers advice. If you're a buyer looking to buy a home, a seller looking to sell your home, I'm going to be talking about things that if I were in your position, things that I would be doing. Suggestions to new agents for survival skills. 9 out of 10 agents are out of the business within 2 years. That's a statistic from the National Association of Realtors. Tough business. So I will be sharing with you how I got started and what I did to survive, especially the first couple of years. Then I'll also be talking about how to become a luxury agent. Not only how to become one, how to stand out as a luxury agent. And I feel like I really do stand out as a luxury agent. I'll be talking about this year's results for all of Collin County, where I finished, and what my average home sale price was. And I think that's a pretty good indication that I'm a luxury agent. I'll be doing periodic market updates for the entire area, Allen, Fairview, Lucas, Collin County in general. And then I'm also doing more frequently our own activity reports, and those include our new sales, listings, coming soon, anything that we have coming our way, maybe not even on the MLS yet. I can share those things with you. then at times if something crosses my mind, it doesn't even have to do with real estate. Maybe something on Fairview Town Center, or something about chicken and pickleball coming to Allen. I'll be talking about those things too. So I can't tell you exactly what's going to be in there, but it'll always be something I think you might have interest in. The one thing I won't do, you'll never hear anything from me about politics. I avoid politics like the plague, and everybody has their own opinions about which way to go, right, left, liberal, conservative. That's for you to decide, and I'm not going to try to sway anybody's position. That's none of my business. So I think you'll get some really good information out of it. I think you'll enjoy it, and I think you'll enjoy especially some of the funny stories, some of the really silly, stupid things that I've done over the years. So if this appeals to you, please just you can find us on Facebook at the Grisac Group, or YouTube channel at the Grisac Group. Those are new ways to find a channel on YouTube, although ours for some reason isn't working, but the Grisac Group should take you to our YouTube channel. So those are places you can find me. I'm going to be out, as I said, for 2-3 weeks, and I'll be doing more of these videos between now and when I get back on my feet. I'm looking forward to it, and if you have comments, please let me know. Give me a call or send me an email. Thank you, and again, have a great 2023.